क्या हालचाल।
Jahat Fateh Khan, all the way from London. दिल की गहराइयों से आप सबको
I just want. वो कैसे होता download?
Dear participants, good evening and a warm welcome to all of you on this enlightening webinar, From Curiosity to Creation, a journey into undergraduate research. I am Heba Nadeem, Director Public Relations and Communication. Thrilled to see you and so many eager minds gathered here today, seeking to embark on a path that leads to discovery and innovation. This webinar focuses on highlighting the significance of research and providing a comprehensive step-by-step guide for conducting research as an undergraduate student. To empower students with the necessary knowledge and skills to engage in meaningful research projects during their academic journey, from formulating research questions to conducting literature reviews, designing methodologies, and analyzing data. You will gain invaluable knowledge and skills that will pave the way for meaningful and impactful research. There are more than 500 participants registered for this workshop, and only 250 were added to the group due to an unexpected technical issues. We are apologizing in our Zoom, apologizing that we can only allow 100 participants in our Zoom. Others can join our live session on Facebook page. The link of live broadcasting has been shared in the group, and you can ask questions in our WhatsApp group or in the chat box. So let us embark together on this quest of curiosity, creation, and academic growth. I wish you an insightful and rewarding experience throughout the session. Thank you, and let's get started. Over to Waheba.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome on board. My name is Vaiba Sheikh and I am local officer of research exchange of VHSLC, and I'm also representing VFAHT VHSC as vice president. So before we proceed, we thought, why don't we start with an ice-breaking session? And we planned few games for you all. And I will tell you the rules. Raza, can you please share the slides? All right. So game schedules was simple. What you all have to do is, let's say the next slide. We will share the first slide, and our first game is 5 superheroes ki names you have to write in Urdu, whatever you think. So if there is a Spider-Man, so for example, हमने Spider-Man को उर्दू में translate करके लिखा हुआ है मकड़ी मैन. So let's think के अब कौन कितना ज़्यादा creative हो सकता है. You guys can write 5 superheroes name in Urdu in the chat box, and I'm gonna read all your names. Okay, so someone suggested Kida Admi, I guess Spider-Man. Chimgadar Admi, Batman. Kali Beva, Black Widow, okay. Chimgadar Banda, again Batman. Okay, Minahil says Bala Admi. Minahil again says Chimgadar Admi. Mariam Tariq says Ant-Man is Kida Man. Okay. Rimsha Nawaz is saying Loha Admi. Okay, I mean Iron Man. Ant-Man, Chuti Admi. Okay, Maida saying Makdi Admi, Chuti Admi. Hathode Wala. Mohammad Zishan says Thor. Kali Billi, Wadiya Fatma suggests. Uh, Hassan Salim says Dr. Ajib. Okay. Papa ki pari, I'm Hassan says, I don't know. Ye kaun sa hai? Aksar suggesting Challi Man. Anokhi Aurat. Kaptan America. Zemal suggests. Okay. Akib shares Behreen Insan, Chimgadar Insan. Hara Lalten, Loha Mukka. Black Panther, Kala Tenwa. Okay. Oh my god, you guys are very creative. Wise. Makri Bani Adam. Tabib Ajib. Taiba Imtiaz suggested Tabib Ajib. That's kind of nice. Groot, Loki. Okay. Gulabi Panther. Pink Panther. Okay. Iron Man Loha Army. Okay, guys, you guys are very creative. Essay. Okay, is everyone left or suggest subs Lalten? I'm gonna skip this. Zuhaib Wala. Minail says subs Lalten. Okay, Reza, can we go on to the next one? Okay. So here's the same thing. Imagine that you're living.
Assalamualaikum. Am I audible, everyone?
Walaikum salam. Yes, Dr. Agha, we are having our icebreaking session right now. So we can continue like 5 minutes later. All right. So imagine that you're living in a space station. All of a sudden, the space station malfunctions and you have to evacuate. You're only allowed to take 5 things with you. What will you take? So let's say only toothbrush, mobile phone, food, and water. But what if mobile phone is not? Phone, charger, head spray, glasses, water. Manu says, okay, pakka isolation ka saman. All you need is Netflix. Yes, you're audible. Dr. Agha, yes, you are audible. Mobile charger, phone charger, money, choti, kapda, mobile, oxygen cylinder, headphones, parachute, water. Okay. Mobile, clothes, water, food, family. Okay, food, phone. Robins. No one is gonna take Robins. It's time to be Robins. Oh my god. Stethoscope. Glasses, food, clothes, books. Yeah, दुनिया खत्म हो रही है and you guys are like books लेके जाओगे साथ. Chicken achari, honey, Pathoma, my friends. Okay. Okay, we got 5 more. Food. I'm who is this Zoom user obsessed with one person? Mohammed Said says Ande wala burger. Okay. Nimsha Nawaz is saying chocolates. Okay, I think we should move on to the next one. That's my next slide. Karan. Okay, that's the last one and the easy one, I guess. Tell any 5 colors apart from the rainbow colors. Black. But 5, guys, suggest 5. List 5. Baby pink, but yeah. Zinc, white, okay. Magenta, Magenta is, I think, saying. Aksa, Noreen suggests yellow. Chrome, golden, gray, Shariar Ahmed says. Zuhaib says violet, but I think violet is part of the color. Mahanur Khan is just saying black, white, pink, gray, maroon. Inaya Javed suggests lavender, brown, white, pink, army green. Maida suggests lavender, maroon, lime green, sky blue, black. Okay, we got so many colors. Olive, lilac, black, gray, black. Dark blue, tawny, lilac. Okay, I guess you guys know so many colors apart from rainbow colors. I thought it will take time सोचने में. Okay. Radha bhai, should we end? Speaker से continue करवाते हैं क्या? Thank you all for your positive responses and for playing with us. We will proceed with our webinar. Thank you so much.
Am I audible enough?
Yes, Suman, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. In the name of Allah, who gives, and forgives. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hope you guys are doing great. This is your host, Sayyida Saman Zahara Naqvi from Bahrain University Health Sciences, Karachi. I'm Assistant Director at Research and Publications, VFAHT. First, I'd like to thank you all for joining us for this online session. We tried our best to make it suitable for beginners and those looking to refresh their knowledge. So I'll be introducing our much esteemed team with you guys for today's session. The session was coordinated by Mr. Muhammad Raza Sarfaraz, National Officer of Research External, MSAP, Ms. Isha Aftab, Vice President External, MSA-Pakistan, and Ms. Wahiba Sheikh, Media to NORB, MSA-Pakistan, and Vice President, VFAHT. Our fellows included Mr. Arif Arif Khan, Vice President, VFAHT, Karachi and Hyderabad region, and Ms. Mariam Tariq, GA to NORB and DPRC, MSA-Pakistan, Aziz Fajna Medical College. Our organizing community, we have Sayyida Saman Zahara Naqvi she is Director Research and Publications, VFAHT, and Hiba Nadeem, DPRC, MSAP, Bay Area University Health Science, Karachi. This workshop, From Creation to Creation, is organized through the collaboration of Medical Student Association, Pakistan, Volunteers Force Against Hepatitis Transmission, VFAHT, IPAC, and International Biomedical Research Community, IBRC. And our aim is to capacitate the students. We are extremely honored to have Dr. Agha Syed Ali Haider Naqvi as our speaker for today's session. He is graduate of Medical College, Senior House Officer, PIMS. The research mentor and has conducted many workshops. He has over 20 plus publications. He is also ex-president FSRS, founder and chairman of International Biomedical Research Community, IBRC, that has over 1,000 researchers working under him from all over the world. I hope his expertise will enlighten and guide us. Over to you, Dr. Agha.
Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible?
Walaikum assalam. Yes, you are.
Okay. First of all, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm extremely honored and grateful to conduct today's research session. Before I start, I would be really grateful if the host and if the host and also the attendees can let me know if the presentation would be lagging behind or if there's any issue with my microphone. Okay, there was something in the start, so I just resolved it. Right. So moving on, Gigi. Acha, who would be coordinating the presentation with me? Raza or someone? Can you please let me know that slides को कौन coordinate करेंगे?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम डॉक्टर आगा, आई एम कोऑर्डिनेटिंग द स्लाइड्स विद यू, तो आप
Okay.
स्टार्ट करते हैं अभी.
चलें ठीक हो गया. Raza, can you move on with the first slide, please? Okay, so today's session and the main aim is that to provide the basic and gradual insight to all the participants regarding the basics of research, why research is important, and why it's essential to conduct research at undergrad level. I guess in today's session we are having a great medical community. We're having community from VFAHT, from MSA, from IBRC. और हमारे पास एक great outreach है because not only MBBS students are attending the session, we're having dentistry students, having DPT, biomedical sciences, pharmaceutical sciences. So the entire community and the purpose of this session is to, get out of that dilemma and get out of that need कि research जो है सिर्फ हमें अपनी डिग्री के लिए चाहिए होती है. In medical and dentistry studies, we conduct research in our 4th year or as part of our community medicine or community dentistry. And when we talk about the basic sciences, applied sciences, so we conduct research as part of our dissertations, as part of, to get our degree, we conduct thesis or dissertation. I guess some of you might have an idea of that. So can anyone tell me, I'll be really grateful because whenever I conduct sessions, those who know me specifically from IBRC, I like to keep the sessions interactive. So if anyone can tell me what research means. Research का एक आपके दिमाग में whenever you hear the word research, whether you're from first year, whether you're from any other basic sciences, आपके दिमाग में क्या एक brainstorm जब आप करते हैं तो what comes in your mind कि okay, research would be this or that, or jaldi se agar if someone can let me know. You guys can communicate in the chat too, but I'll appreciate. Raza, are we having the option of unmute on for every participant? Raza, can
yes, they can unmute themselves और
Okay.
वो बोल
Okay.
सकते हैं like जो भी उनसे पूछना.
Okay. I'd be really grateful if someone can unmute and tell me what does research mean. Okay, there's nothing to be shy about. Again, whenever we're in these sessions, so एक काफी मेहनत है उन सब की to bring this for you. So whatever comes in your mind, just unmute, tell, ताकि मुझे लगे कि you guys are really interested and you guys are here to learn.
A scientific and systemic approach to answer any question.
Okay, thank you so much, Nayab. Anyone else?
So it's evidence backup. It will be evidence backup search for a hypothesis created by an individual.
Okay, thank you so much, Swati. Anyone else who wants to add to it? Okay, whenever you heard about research, so what comes in your mind?
सर कोई भी जो पहले रिसर्च हुई है उसके अंदर हम कोई नई डिस्कवरी इन्वेंट करते हैं तो उसको हम कहते हैं रिसर्च. कोई दोबारा से हम जो है ना उसको नई फॉर्म में उसको डिस्कवर करते हैं.
Okay, thank you so much, Numan. So going on with the chat too, evidence backup for a hypothesis created by individual, Sawati, Rafi Khan, addition to the already existing knowledge body, exploring new things, Zunaira, to investigate. Okay, so all of you are right. Basically, the answer lies in the word itself, research. So what we're going to do, we are going to go through what has been searched already, and then we're going to put up some new things in it. Okay. Whenever we go through the literature, by literature I mean going through the previous research studies on a topic, so we would always find these research gaps. कुछ हमें चीजें नजर आएंगी जो कि मिसिंग हैं उस लिटरेचर में. ठीक है. For example, if we talk about a topic, and this is how the chain of research works in every field of study. I guess Raza, the presentation is missing. Let me share my screen. Okay, guys. So I guess Raza is not here. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, chalo.
Yes, we can.
Okay, chalo. I'll coordinate the screen. Okay, we are good to go. Acha. So there is a chain which we have to continue. I'm just going through the basic too. Mostly the IBRC and those who are from the final year of their studies, they have good knowledge regarding research. But we are having students who are also from first year and second year who would be starting new. So I would go from basics and then I'll go to the end. Okay. So always the research is like a chain which has to be continued again and again by the research scholars. For example, if we take a topic, just give me a general topic, what's in your mind. Okay, someone just give a topic in the chat box, or you can type a random topic in the chat, or you can just tell me. Cardiology. Okay. So for example, talking about the cardiology, talking about effects of different, for example, the use of low plat in the golden hours of MI. ठीक है, patient को जब MI early diagnosed हुआ तो अगर उसको हम ACS protocol देते हैं तो what's its benefit? ठीक है. A scholar would come and he would do research on that. For example, he would do a cross-sectional study. ठीक है, always the research starts with a case report or a cross-sectional study. ठीक है, and he would give the incidence of, for example, any inferior wall MI, okay, LAD MI, okay, different aspects of different, for example, the role of right descending coronary in the MI. So that would be like assessing his reports or her reports, patient ki reports देखेंगे. They would just do a survey. That can be a descriptive study, can be a cross-sectional study. I would go on with these studies. So he would put up some factors, he would put up some variables जिस पे वो research करेंगे. Now our next researcher would come who would be interested in the field of cardiology, and he's also interested to work on MI. He also want to, like, he has an idea that I would be shortlisting any golden hour therapy which can prove very efficient in preventing more damage or more preventing complications in an MI patient. So he's going to first of all go through what has been done by any previous researcher, what has been done in this chain of cardiology research, and then he would find some variables, he would find some research gap. For example, he finds 20 to 30 or 50 studies related to inferior wall MI, related to this cardiology topic. So when he's going to go through these, and I'm talking about the recent literature, whenever you want to do literature review, whenever you want to read the previous researches, you always go for last 5 years. And then if you don't find your answers, then you can go to last 7 years. Okay? So when you're going to go through these 25 to 50 research papers, then you're going to know certain variables which have not been worked on. For example, there might be the role of correct ECG reading in diagnosis of early MI. ठीक है, इसमें एरर हो सकता है. फॉर एग्जांपल डॉक्टर्स इसको, मतलब इसमें कितना परसेंटेज है एरर का. ठीक है, द रोल ऑफ लो प्लैट क्लोपिडोग्रल इन ट्रीटिंग inferior wall MI. ठीक है, उसके अलावा we can go the role of aspirin and the dosage of aspirin in treating inferior wall MI, या जो हमारे पास कोई भी like आगे इसको हम categorize कर सकते हैं. The thing is that the studies always begin with cross-sectional study and then it moves on with RCTs. But before moving on to the other studies, every researcher needs to find a gap. ठीक है, whenever जब COVID आया था तो COVID में बहुत ज़्यादा gaps थे. The role of vaccinations, the role of steroids, the role of क्या कहते हैं face mask, N95. So these were the gaps which have not been worked before. आप हमेशा whenever you're conducting a research, you do it on the factors which have not been worked before. ऐसा होता है, and this is a common practice what we are doing. के specifically first, second, third year के या fourth year के students MBBS dentistry के और DPT के biomedical sciences के जो dissertations होते हैं, we move on with the previous topics. We take the same variables और हम same research करते हैं. ठीक है. If I guess if we are having anyone outside Pakistan, India, any foreigner, please do let me know, so that I shift entirely to the English. ठीक है. अच्छा, so the thing is कि जब भी हम इन factors को discuss करते हैं and whenever we moving on with the research, तो we move on with the previous researches. For example, if I talk about my fourth year community medicine researches, so 98% of the students took those topics which have already been done before, and only one group or two groups out of them were able to publish their research, but that was also in a Y category journal. Okay. We're having this category of journal in जिसमें we look for indexation, which would help us when we go for the USMLE, plab or dentistry specialization in US, UK, or we apply for PhD. So in journals का होता है. So before moving on with the definition of research, I would like to show you a few platforms जो के those would help you whenever you're starting literature review. Because the definition of research, again, I think would never get to you until and unless specifically the basic and the basic level of education के जो students हैं, they don't have an idea for that. Again, when I share my screen, please do let me know that it's visible. Okay, so is the screen visible?
Yes, it's visible. It's showing Zoom.
Okay, so is Google Scholar visible now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so those who are new, whenever we're looking for research articles, yeah, previous literature in any field of study again, so we have this website. Okay, this is an extension of Google named Google Scholar. It connects you to all the databases in research. It connects you to Scopus, PubMed, Web of Science. It connects you to Medline, Eastern Mediterranean. Okay, whatever database you are looking for, it would be connecting you to it. For example, like let's type a topic जिस पे हमने we started a discussion. Okay. So this is, for example, I have interest to start research in the field of cardiology. Here I shortlisted that I want to work in myocardial infection research area. Okay. Now, for example, I have multiple topics in mind, just giving you an overview. We need to first of all go through literature of last 5 years. Numan, if you can please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ji. Acha, so we are having this study from 2009, then we're having this study from 2006. But again, whenever we're going to publish or research, the journals ask a question that the references should not be more than 5 years old. So we're having this filter on the left side of Google Scholar. You can just click on since 2019. So we would have all these new articles, efficacy and safety of Tika Grillor. Okay, ye topic ho gaya. We're having this topic. So just when we go through these 20 to 25 studies, we would have an idea what are the gaps in the literature, which factors are missing, whether any efficacy is missing, whether there is a new drug in comparison with clopidogrel, which needs more research, whether we need to work on it in a special population. But do remember, whenever you're starting a research, again, look for the new variables. Don't copy a topic if it has been done before. For example, if we look at this topic, and if it's done in, like, let's open it, see where it was done. Okay, so this study was done in They haven't mentioned the study population. Let's suppose that it was done in, for example, it was done in India. So the thing is that anyone from Pakistan, okay, anyone from UK, he can say that, okay, I want to conduct a similar study. We can always go for the similar studies if they have not been done in our study setting. But again, I would always suggest that when you're going for the similar studies, if not done in your study setting, if not done in your country, क्योंकि हम ऐसा होता है कि if the study is done in one country, we always take the similar topic and do it in our country. Always go for some different variables. You can study your demographic profiles, study क्योंकि ऐसा होता है कि कुछ कंट्रीज में जेंडर वाइज और क्या कहते हैं एज वाइज काफी डिजीजेज और काफी कंडीशंस वेरी कर रही होती हैं, ठीक है. So what you can do is that first of all do a basic survey, okay, just do a general survey and then finalize your research topic. So moving on with the definition of research, performing a methodological study in order to prove a hypothesis or answer a specific research question. Finding a definitive answer is the central goal of any experimental process. So whenever we start a research, we finalize a topic, we move on with a research objective, we develop a rationale. I would define both the research objective and rationale again in the upcoming slides. And then once we've built on with that, and yeah, agar we're doing a dissertation, so we also need to define a research hypothesis based on what our dissertation would prove at the end. And again, whenever you complete your research, your results and your discussion needs to agree and should be in, should be according to and should be उस चीज को ये सेटिस्फाई कर रही हो जो आपकी रिसर्च ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं, आपका रिसर्च का एम और रैशनल है और आपकी रिसर्च की जो हाइपोथेसिस है. So why do we need to do research? Again, number one, talking about the MBBS students, it's very essential because whenever you're going for your USMLE, you're going for your PLAB or UKMLA, you're going for your FCPS, you're going for your jobs promotion, you need research publications. Okay. For example, you've passed your step 1, step 2, you've done your step 3, 2, and you've done your clerkships. Again, if you don't have research in your hand nowadays, it's very difficult to get match. So you need to have a like good cross-sectional study or good systematic review plus meta, or you need to have a good research clinical audit at hand if you want to apply for USMLE or you want to apply for PLAB. And if you want to stay in Pakistan, again, you have the option to go for FCPS, MS or MD. So FCPS it's very essential that before induction, even CIP, CIP changed its policy recently, but again, its policy change hoti rehti hai. But for induction, you need at least 2 research publications. And the best thing of all is the promotions. You want to promote, get promotion. For example, you are a lecturer in a university, you've done your MPhil, you've done your PhD. So you want to get your promotion from lecturer to assistant professor, then to associate professor, and then to professor. So there is a particular requirement for assistant professor. There are 3 publications which need to be done in Pakistani, at least Y category journal. And then for associate professor, we are having 5 or 7 publications. And for professor, we're having 15 publications. So if you do this and you develop an habit of doing this work before you get into these tasks, because aisa hota hai, and I'll get to this after I complete talking about the dentistry students. Again, they want to work in UK, they want to work in US, they want to apply for the dental surgery residency in Pakistan, they need researches, and specifically the basic and applied sciences students. Do remember that again, a lot of you are planning to move out of Pakistan. Many of my friends have moved out this year. So if you want to avoid the fees, if you want to go for a full funded scholarship, do remember that you need research publications. Or iska ek kafi easy tarika which I'm going to tell you. Do a research, publish it in a good journal, at least Pakistani W category or X category journal. Then make another research proposal. Okay, and then what you're going to do is that message the abstract of, I'm not talking about the complete article, I'm just talking about the proposal first. Message the abstract of that proposal to different professors. Okay, for example, I want to, agar apni baat karu, I have an institution in mind in London, from where I'm planning to do MPH. So I've started my search right now. What I'll do is that I'll develop a research proposal. Okay, and then I'll find the professors who are from that university on LinkedIn. I'll find the professor's email where I want to uh, get the fully funded scholarship or get as a research associate, a clinical associate. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to email them this proposal, and I'm going to say them that I am interested in this research session and I want to conduct it. Sorry, I'm interested in the entire research session project, or मैंने इसको under your supervision I want to conduct it. So काफी professors आपको reject भी कर देंगे, but there are many professors who would be willing to supervise you. Once you secure such a position that you get a professor who wants to supervise you in this research, he would help you get a scholarship in that university, a grant in that university, and your works become easy by 50 to 60%. Okay. So those of you who are planning right now to go out of Pakistan to pursue their masters or pursue their PhD, what you guys can do is that just develop a good research proposal on a new and trending topic. Whenever you search Google Scholar, you'll see that some topics are always selling in hot to the journals. तो journals की उन topics के लिए कल भी एक journal की call for AI papers आई हुई थी, क्योंकि in medicine nowadays AI is playing a good role and journals are looking for AI diagnostic articles. So you can just find such topic which is trending in research in your field, and then develop a proposal, get the emails of the professors from Google, from LinkedIn, and just email them. And inshallah, if Allah helps you, you can easily, get it. Baki, it's always on to you. Now, the thing is that is sari baat ko karne ke baad, again, it entirely depends on your interest. Okay? We plan to do USMLE, we plan for masters, PhD, dental surgery residency. Okay, we plan to pursue our DPT career in a foreign country, but we never go for the prerequisite. Some exams ki tayari karte hain, but we never go for the smart work. Okay, exams obviously almost अगर 100 लोग दे रहे हैं तो 60-70% पास कर लेते हैं. चलें shorting at 50-60 तो at least पास कर लेते हैं. But again, just सिर्फ 20 से 30% हमारी country से पाते हैं. Reason being कि they don't have any extra this technical work at hand. तो अगर आप बाहर जाने का सोच रहे हैं and you've like confirmed it that I'm going to pursue my training, my profession, my education, then you need to work on research as an interest rather than a thing you have to do as part of your curriculum. Okay, so type of research articles. Now the thing we always get confused at, I want to do research, what I should go for. So before moving on with the types of research articles, you guys should always know that you should conduct research based on the availability of your IRB. Okay? Choosing your topic and choosing the type of research always depends on whether the ERB approval is available to you or not. Just giving a short example. For example, I'm working as a medical officer in a healthcare setup. वहां से भी मिल जाएगा ERB, ठीक है, direct permission. But for example, I'm preparing for my USMLE exams and I'm currently sitting at home just studying, and I want to do 2 research publications in this time frame I have of 6 months or 1 year. So I cannot go for the original research articles because the issue would be that I don't have the permission of ERB from a university. Okay, whenever you want to get or you want to conduct an original research, you need to have an ethical approval either from the university, either from the institution, either from the hospital, either from the healthcare setup. So what you can do is that if you're stuck at this point and you want to you're not occupied or employed anywhere, but you want jaldi say in this time frame of 1 year, you're sitting at home preparing for any your residency, your PhD, your masters, you're applying, you can always go for the review studies. Okay? The review studies, they don't need any ethical approval because they are, compiling, analyzing qualitatively and quantitatively the data provided by previous researchers. So in review studies, we're having systematic reviews, we're having meta-analysis, we're having narrative reviews, we're having scoping reviews. So you can always go for these studies. However, if you're interested in doing original research, and you are part of any university, you're part of any hospital, any institution, any university, where they fund research grants, then you can go for original research papers. And in original, so we're having an original research paper as the first article type, which can either be a cross-sectional study, cohort study, randomized control trial, longitudinal cohort, prospective study. Okay. Then we're having systematic reviews, where we systematically analyze data or the literature which has been done on our research topic. And then we're having meta-analysis, where we systematically, quantitatively analyze data which has been done before on that topic. We can do systemic review plus meta-analysis on a topic together. Okay. Now the thing is, talking about qualitative and quantitative, I've used these two terms, so some of you might be familiar with it and some of you might not be. The qualitative analysis is the analysis with words. I would be talking in layman and in basic language ताकि सबको समझ आ जाए. The qualitative analysis is the analysis with words. ठीक है, आपने अपने अल्फाज से analyze करना है उसको. And the quantitative analysis is the analysis which is done numerically. आपने numerics, आपने analysis stats के through उसको prove करना है. So in the systematic analysis, we are having a systematic collection of the database, and then we compare and compile them using our words, and we put up the results and conclusion, discussion, everything is based on our words. But when we move on to the meta section of the reviews, it involves selecting of different variables of studies based on their specificity, sensitivity, AUC, standard deviation. The data can be either cardinal, continuous, dichotomous, और उसके हिसाब से हमने पीको को देख के, स्टडीज के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को देख के हमने उन स्टडीज को कंबाइन करना है, which get on our meta criteria, or we're going to analyze them using statistical part. हम SPSS को use कर सकते हैं, हम Revman को use कर सकते हैं, and then we're going to get these two or three systematic plots उसके होते हैं, that would be inshallah discussed in another section. Again, in short, these two are review studies which can be done together, but one is a qualitative type of database analysis, and one is quantitative type. Then we're having case report, in which we report a case in the hospital setting, which या फिर आपकी अपनी फील्ड में कोई ऐसा केस आया हो जो कि पहले इतना रिपोर्ट नहीं हुआ हुआ, तो you take up this like in my last rotation in the last week I had disorder Rufai Dorfman disease, so that's not common in our PIMS hospital. So we did the BMB of that patient, and again that case study was already taken by a senior PG, but that was a rare case, so it can be reported to the journal. Then clinical audit, this is a performance-based research, in which we like look for the procedures, we look for the techniques, medications, treatment plan followed in different departments of the healthcare setup, and then we introduce some interventions and we reassess that procedure or that treatment. So इसमें ये होता है कि like first we do a survey, then we do an intervention, and then we again do a survey. I'm just telling in short. So it's इसमें थोड़ा सा आप एक role play करते हो एक departmental performance को बेहतर करने के लिए. Then we having clinical trials. Mostly the clinical trials होते हैं that are related to the pharmaceutical field. There we are having different classes of trial, class 1, 2, 3, 4. And then also trials can be conducted in the medical field. Those are like, again, I don't say it as a true trial, but again, it's a trial when we introduce any new procedure or any new intervention in the medical field. And then we're having case study and conference paper. Okay, so the case report and the case study are somewhat similar. इसमें case series को we had to include, like for example we get one case of Fayed-Hoffman disease. If we get multiple cases over the time, so we can report those 10 or 8 or 9 cases in the journal as a case series. Okay? And then the conferences paper are done entirely to submit into a conference journal based on their requirements, based on their जो भी उनकी need होती है, ठीक है? Those are done on particular topics. Sometimes a conference might be regarding rheumatology, pharmaceutical, or diabetic medications role in the field, or pharmaceutical. Just talking about कि जो भी conference papers होते हैं, those are done according to needs of the conference जो भी attend आ रही है. Okay, so after this slide, we're going to take a short gap. I guess the host would coordinate better bata denge what we're going to do. So the steps to follow in research are: number 1, choosing a topic. Okay? And choosing a topic, selecting a research area would be a better thing, like selecting a research area, selecting a field, then doing literature review, then moving on to choosing a topic, then doing literature review, finalizing your topic. And once your topic is finalized, you can move on with the research proposal, then your ethical approval if it's an original research study, data collection, entry analysis, manuscript writing, and then we move on to the last step, that's the publication. Okay. Raza, someone, if you can tell me that should we take a gap or should we continue?
If you're okay with continuing, I guess it's okay. We can continue.
Okay,
People
I
are
guess
saying in chat box to continue. Yes.
I guess ठीक है. Okay. I guess we can take a 5-minute break in which you guys can ask any question what we've done up till now.
Yeah, sure, Dr. Agha, that sounds great.
Okay, guys, you can ask your questions right now. We are having 10 minutes for the questions. So you can unmute yourself, ask any question, or you can ask in the chat box. I would respond you guys, okay? If you guys have any question, you guys can ask now. Again, I'm telling this, I don't know why we are reluctant. I've done a few sessions for international students from UK and US. They're very much, confident in asking a question. I'm going to tell you guys again, they can. The host and all these organizations, they put up so much effort to bring this session for you. So if you guys have any question and you're thinking that it's not suitable to ask, I might think it's not a good question. So that's not the thing. It entirely depends on your knowledge. Okay? Every person has different thinking and different aspects on the knowledge and this term. So जो कुछ आपके brain में आता है, just ask it, okay? I would try to answer if I know it.
Dr. Agha, we have a few questions in the chat box, if you can look into it.
Gigi, I'm going to look into it. Also, somebody raised hand to ask a question. Mariam, is the option on for the people?
Yes, they
Yes.
can open their mics.
Ji Swati, you can ask your question. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yes, sir. Can you say about the do's and don'ts of research proposal writing?
Gigi, okay, I can go through those. Okay, so moving on with the research proposal writing. First of all, the thing, whenever you're starting a topic or a research proposal, always finalize your topic, okay, and finalize the methodology. There are 2 steps when you're writing a proposal, and that depends on your supervisor. I'm talking about you being in the university and doing research under supervision. Okay. In many cases, and that's followed everywhere in the world, the supervisors are not cooperative at all. Okay. You message them today, they would respond after a week, they might respond after 2 weeks. क्योंकि उनके पास multiple students होते हैं. And sometimes the supervisors are, you know, supportive and they help you in all the aspects of the proposal writing. The thing is that if you don't have a supportive supervisor and you have zero knowledge, or you have only 5 or 10% of that topic, that research area, just either look for someone who can mentor you in the research aspect, jo aapko help kare, or you can go to Google Scholar and search for a similar study. Okay? Don't wait for your supervisor response. Just go to the Google Scholar, look for similar studies. If not similar studies available, look for alternative topics which have similar studies, might be different intervention, different procedure, different medicine, but similar. Aap unki methodology ko study karo. You go through their methodology, you go through their study design, and then just follow it, or just develop your plan based on that. Now, the do's of your research proposal should be: number one, your topic should be finalized. Number two, you should, if conducting an original research, have the availability of ERB. You should always know that ERB should be available to you or not. Because ऐसा होता है that we finalize the topic, we move on with the research, then in the middle we know that जो हमारी ERB committee है, that's not cooperative, and they might take 3 or 4 months for the ERB approval. ठीक है? Then you're going to number 3, you're going to check that your research proposal contains the objectives, the factors, the topic contains such factors which are not similar to any previous study. Okay? And the fourth aspect is you are clearly going to define your research tool, your study design, your inclusion, exclusion criteria if needed, your sample size in your research proposal. Your methodology should be strong. क्योंकि research proposal में एक ही चीज होती है जो matter करती है, that is your methodology. Introduction is just a general review of the literature. After your the topic and the research methodology, the two things which are important is your research rationale and objective. Now what we do is that we confuse these two terms, we confuse the objective and the rationale. Again, telling it, I repeat it in my multiple sessions, the objective is what your study stands for. Okay? For example, the study is that the role of colleagues in reducing mental stress in medical students. You have developed this a general topic. So इसमें objective क्या है हमारा? To find out the role of the colleagues in helping their fellow peers in reducing their mental stress, or helping them cope up with their mental health. ठीक है जी? What is the rationale of this study? To improve the mental health for the medical students, or to provide a better mental health, उसे क्या कहते हैं, मतलब to provide a better mental health care for the medical students. Rationale is something of a broader term, जो कि आपकी study का उस population को क्या फायदा है, the benefit of your study to that population, and the objective is what your study would be finding out. ठीक है? So these are the do's के इन चीजों को strong लगने हैं. The do notes are again that your वही इसके opposite methodology should be strong, topic should be trendy and latest. You should know the availability of ERB or not. I again stress on ERB and topic क्योंकि हमेशा ऐसा होता है we finalize the proposal और ERB takes almost 4 to 6 months और सारी मेहनत जाया जाती है. ठीक है? We have also left on many topics, 2 or 3 topics, because we didn't get the ERB approval. We didn't get the time for the ERB approval. फिर ये है कि 6 months तक तो आप study complete कर लेते हैं. ठीक है? And again, when you're doing the reference section, do use a software, whether EndNote. I use EndNote. I always say to use EndNote or go for Zotero or Mendeley. Okay, does this answer your question, Swati? If you're having any particular concern with the proposal, you can let me know. So I would talk on that too.
There are some questions in the pre-evaluation form that we distributed before. One of the question is how can we get published internationally quickly?
Okay, this publishing aspect I would be discussing at the end, but the thing is that when you're going for international research papers, we are again, Rimsha, you can ask your question after this, okay? So always go for those journals which are free of cost. We've shared the free of cost journals list in our group of IBRC. So if other communities are looking for it, you can message your host, they can let me know, I'll forward it to them. And again, if your manuscript has less than 5% similarity index, it's dealing with something trendy new, it's not copy pasted, it's not fabricated, the data is not fabricated, you have ethical approval at hand, then you can submit in any journal, because almost 50 to 40% of international W category journals have removed their APC, their article processing fee for the developing countries. Pakistan bhi usme aata hai, so we don't have to pay any fee for that. So just wait for their approval. Then if they put it into review, they'll send you the review. But do remember that the free journals can take at least 6 months, 3 to 6 months. Curious thoda jaldi kar deta hai, they take 1 to 2 months. Baki 3 to 6 months le lete hain. Okay, Rimsha, you can unmute yourself, ask your question.
Sir, you were talking about the different type of studies like cross-sectional study and cohort study. So, sir, can you please give us brief overview of these studies so that we have an idea as how do we choose a study type while doing research?
Okay, I was having a presentation open. Let me see if it's available. Just wait, I'll open the presentation. Study design. Okay, so I did not get much time to finalize my presentation, but again, if the presentation is visible to you for study designs, please do let me know.
Yeah, it is, Dr. Agha.
Okay. Just wait till I get to the other section. Is the slide moving? Slide change ho rahi hai?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. This is presentation of a fellow colleague. I did not have time this week to develop. Okay, so we're having these different types of studies. We're having descriptive studies, observational jo hoti hain, and then we're having analytical studies. ठीक है? Descriptive studies mostly jo hoti hain, Rimsha, these are like survey based studies. ठीक है? We don't introduce interventions in most of the descriptive studies. It's just a survey. We did a survey on the role of any medication. We did a survey on any factor, any disease, its prevalence, its incidence. Yeah, we reported any survey disease. ठीक है, किसी चीज को report करना भी survey में आता है. For example, if we report a case study या हम कुछ specific rare cases को report करते हैं as case series, ये हमारे पास आते हैं descriptive studies में. Then we're having analytical studies in which we're having observational studies and experimental studies. ठीक है. Experimental studies जो होती हैं, in that most of the time we're having a control and an experimental group. ठीक है, जिसके अंदर we introduce an intervention. These studies are mostly intervention based, जिसमें हम एक intervention introduce करते हैं and we see the effect, the result of that intervention. The thing is that Rimsha, what's your level of education? What's
Sir,
your...
I'm in the 4th year MBBS.
Okay. So that when choosing a study design and a study type, it always depends upon the availability and the time availability, and again the availability of your resources. So when you are going for a randomized control trial or a non-randomized control trial, it's going to take a lot of time, और इसके लिए आपको काफी resources चाहिए. Again, in these type of experimental studies, a lot of funding is also needed. ठीक है? So you're going to like make 2 groups. Again, इसकी description में गया, it's going to take a lot of time. And then in observational studies, हमारे पास जो होती है, 2 तरह की main studies होती हैं, which cohort studies होती हैं. Can someone please mute Bilal? Yeah, thank you, Ji. Okay, so we're having exposure studies, cohort studies hoti hain, and they were having disease-based studies, case control studies. Now, cohort studies, what we do is that we follow up a patient to an exposure. Okay? For example, and it's very famous regarding the cohort studies that they take a lot of time. They get easily published, but they take a lot of time. For example, ये हमारी उसमें पार्क की book में भी लिखी हुई है. I guess you would be studying that. तो एक्सपो जी स्मोकिंग के बारे में लिखिए, whether smoking causes lung cancer or not. ठीक है. So what we do is that we follow up a patient with the exposure for disease, या for example asbestosis का क्या role है कैंसर में. तो हम उस पेशेंट को देखते हैं जिसका उससे एक्सपोजर होता है, we're going to follow up with the patient and see whether it causes that effect or not. In the case control studies, we're having a case जिसको हम intervention देंगे and a control जिसको हम जो है placebo के through treat करते हैं. And again we're going to see their effect, whether the effect which we've introduced occurs or not. ठीक है. Up again, does this answer your question based on the type of studies? मैंने इनको discuss करना था, but the host said that they would be discussed in this session.
Okay.
Ramshi, does this answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ठीक है. तो again, अगर आपने अपनी study type choose करनी है, it depends on your resources. In first, second, third year of medical education or dentistry or basic sciences, I always say you go for the basic studies, cross-sectional surveys. थोड़ा सा आपकी research skills polish हो जाती हैं, and then when you move up to the final year or fourth year, maybe you can go for the clinical studies too. ठीक है.
Okay,
Taking the questions in the chat. In third year of medical education, you can go for the basic sciences. ठीक है. You can go for आप pharmacology कर पढ़ रहे होते, तो you can also go for the drug related, not RCTs. I'm talking about observational या cross sectional study. ठीक है. For example, role of diabetic medicines पे काफी काम हो रहा होता है. So if you find any household, but again, I'll move on to the topic wala part. So it depends on the availability of your resources, your time. Agar to you want you can do your studies and also conduct the research. So you can do studies based on your current accessibility. ठीक है. Medical students पे या physiology पे, physiological procedures पे जो हो रहे होते हैं आपके institution में, उसकी accuracy पे, इसमें students का क्या role होता है. और अगर clinical setting का hospital आपके बिल्कुल medical college के साथ, and then you can also go for cross-sectional studies in the institution. Maria Kadri has asked, how can we use AI for our research? Maria, if talking about the AI, we can use it for finalizing our topic. ठीक है. हम topic refine करने के लिए इसको use कर सकते हैं. We can get idea regarding our methodology, but we cannot use AI for write-ups. ठीक है. It's prohibited. और ये है कि Turnitin can also क्या कहते हैं access थोड़ा सा उसको हम Turnitin पे analyze हो जाता है the AI regarding related portion. However, if you're talking AI में topics कौन से research के हैं, so the most trending topic is AI role in diagnostics, AI role and deep learning role, और क्या कहते हैं cyber roles in diagnosis of cancers, of interpretation of different MRI scans of your body, HRCT, CTPA. तो AI इसमें काफी रोल प्ले कर रहा है. I'm working with the film, और इसी चीज पे एक तो we doing a research. I'm doing a research with a really talented group, or they are really dedicated and they're looking after the AI role for in a particular disorder. उसके अलावा I'm working with a film जो कि entirely dedicated है with the role of AI in diagnosis of lung disorders using CT, chest, HRCT, and also X-ray chest, PA. तो ये है कि AI का इसमें आजकल काफी रोल है, एंड US में तो काफी सॉफ्टवेयर्स और प्रोग्राम्स इंट्रोड्यूस हो चुके हैं, बट इन एशिया अभी तक इतना खास इस पे इंट्रोडक्शन कोई नहीं है. बट दीज आर इन प्रोग्रेस, सो यू विल सी कि AI अभी क्यूरियस का मुझे रिसेंटली वो मैंने बताया कि ईमेल आया हुआ था इसी रिलेटेड, दैट इफ देयर इज एनी जर्नल आर्टिकल अवेलेबल ऑन रोल ऑफ AI इन डायग्नोसिस, सो प्लीज सबमिट. तो आप रोल ऑफ AI इन डायग्नोसिस पे जा सकते हैं. It's the trendy topic. How many publicists do we need for PLAB? Okay, so Wahiba, for PLAB we need 2 publications, and for USMLE we need 1 or 2 publications. PLAB के लिए 2 जरूरी हैं at least, but USMLE वाले they haven't placed account on that. ठीक है. Some say 3 chahiye. I haven't jumped into the depth of it, but your researches need to be PubMed indexed. Okay? You cannot use HGRS indexation, that doesn't work anywhere except Pakistan. Scopus, Web of Science, or PubMed. In तीनों में होना चाहिए. I will take a break at 7:20 after 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, Samia, so Samia Riaz, what is a research proposal? Samia, basically, research proposal or research synopsis is a pre-filled performa chale aap isko keh lein, which is submitted to the ERB, which includes the name of your topic, your objective, आपने अपनी research, थोड़ा सा introduction about the topic किसके बारे में है, and then it includes your methodology. Okay, what is your study design, your study population, your sample size, your study tool, your analysis portion. तो ये चीजें होती हैं. ठीक है, sir, can I publish 2 articles on the same topic? Aksa Noreen asks, can I publish 2 articles on the same topic? No, you cannot publish 2 articles on the same topic, and also you cannot submit your research paper in 2 journals at a time. ठीक है जी. Yeah, extremely sorry, guys. I guess my internet disconnected. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I was answering the question of this question. G. Yeah, or AI. Maria, okay, I'll show you a few topics for the AI section. ये देखें जी. ठीक है, ये just you write this on Google Scholar, you get multiple answers. The role of deep learning in brain tumor detection, in oral cancer detection. ठीक है, you can also go for diseases, different diseases. So a lot of literature, a lot तो नहीं, but you recently a lot of researches are being done on it, because ये है कि the institutions and the international organizations, they're trying to avoid the funding needed for individual diagnosis and individual diagnosis physicians affording program. So what they're doing is कि वो AI को introduce करना चाह रहे हैं, तो जो एक उनका OPD का burden होता है वो reduce हो जाए. They can just upload their X-ray HRCT and the AI can give the diagnosis, or if they can upload their CT scan, AI can give the diagnosis. ठीक है. ERB's Ethical Review Board, it is a committee available in the university, in your institution, hospital setting, any primary, secondary healthcare setup, which gives you the permission to conduct the research. You submit the proposal to them, and then they give you a letter after your interview. You can conduct the study in this study setting. By study setting, I mean hospital or the study population. जहाँ भी वो है. What are the standards for your research work to be published internationally? Fatma, I've already told it. The research should be authentic. ERB letter should be there. Data should not be fabricated. Similarity index should be less than 5%. Research references should not be more than last 5 years old. and your study should be recent. It should not be, what we do is that we conducted a study in 4th year. Now I am doing a house job, and then when I'm applying for FCPS, I try to publish that study after 3 years. So that is not possible. So the study should be recent. Yes, Nimra, you can share the link of the article. I'll open it and I'll let you know. Is it good to consider Curious for publication when you sit down? The thing is that Curious is very much, non-scholar supportive site. So the thing is, Curious publishes your manuscript in a very fast way. But if there is some similarity, and if there is someone places an objection on your research paper that he or she copied mine, so they don't provide you a solid platform to answer that concern. They place you onto that curious wall of shame. I think it's not a good practice though, क्योंकि अगर आप किसी को directly इस तरह place करें, but if you guys just Google it, curious wall of shame, तो उसमें mostly authors are from Asia and Middle East. All of the authors, I guess, are from Asia and Middle East. So curious का इस aspect की वजह से that they are not scholar friendly. So I guess many people are currently trying to avoid it. Maria, an original research article, any clinical audit, systematic review plus meta-analysis are top 1 category for PLAB or USMLE. The press releases, which include letter to an editor, any editorial review, any critical review, these come in press. So इनके कम points होते हैं. ठीक है. Just wait, I would like to open the guys. Should we take a break? Then Nimra, I'll
Yes,
answer
Dr.
your
Agha,
question.
we can have a 10-minute namaz break. After that,
Okay,
we
you
can
guys.
continue at 7:30.
Okay, good.
Exactly, Dr. Agha.
Assalamu alaikum. So I would be resuming the session. I guess we're having less time left. Should we continue? Mariam, someone if you can let me know. Start kar dein.
Yes, okay, you can start. Continue it.
Okay. Okay, so how to choose a topic? Whenever you're selecting your research topic, there are 5 things you should keep in mind. The topic should be based on an idea. It should be based on your experience and your reading, based on your time, feasibility, word rotations, and originality. The thing is that talking from basic to your level of education, whenever you want to start your research, the first thing that comes in your mind is your interest. Okay, for example, I want to do USMLE, I want to do pleb, I want to do this specialization in my field. Yeah, I want this research area to work on in PhD or masters. So always when that idea comes into your mind, search the literature and screen the literature for that idea to refine it. Okay? Because research is always based on interest. If you just do it, okay, randomly you start a topic without your interest, and then what happens is that in the middle you lose that interest and you cannot continue the topic. And that idea, that your topic interest would keep you motivated till the end until you publish your research paper. Okay. Also, जब idea interest की बात आती है, depends on your experience, your reading. Some people have an habit to go through Google Scholar, read their interested, their field which they want to pursue in future, research articles. So that also gives you an idea. It should be feasible and it should be done, selected based on your time. For example, if I'm a medical student and I don't have an access, or if I'm a university student, I don't have an access to a clinical or a field setting. So there's no purpose of doing a research. Okay, I would need to take time or need to skip my classes and go for data collection. So whenever you want to conduct a research, just see your resources. And the main important thing on your resource are your time and your funding. कि जितना आप उसको time feasible बना सकते हैं और जितना उसको least expensive कर सकते हैं, that would keep your interest, that would keep you motivated, and that would help you stay into the game until you publish your research. Okay, then when we come into ward rotations, or we do come into clinical or field or internships, then you can get a chance to go for the regional studies which are related to the clinical setting, related to the field setting. And again, the topic should be original. It should be supported by already done literature based on the practical and theoretical aspects. For example, choosing a topic, ठीक है, idea में आते हैं, तो we all know that whenever we get in a case of acute appendicitis, one of the factors which is increased in the blood count of the patient are the neutrophils. So again, for example, इसका idea से देता हूँ कि I am a surgeon, yeah, I am a PG resident, a medical student. When this aspect was found, मैं उसकी बात करूँ, that person might be going through the reports of the patient who come with acute appendicitis. He might have noticed कि अच्छा जी, जितने patients आ रहे हैं, most of the patients are having an increase in their neutrophils. So he might have conducted the study to see whether all the patients are coming with acute appendicitis having increased neutrophils or not. So that was an idea he took from his study setting. Then he put that up into a research question, and then like, can neutrophil be used to diagnose inflammatory diseases? And then assessment of neutrophil in acute appendicitis versus perforated appendicitis, that can have been made a topic. So the thing is that when you have sharp observation and you keep know-how of the clinical environment you're working on or the field of interest you're working on, research topics and ideas, jump into your mind. और जो बड़े अच्छे और publishable topics होते हैं, those come from these ideas. अगर आप randomly you're going to start a topic, so it becomes very difficult to work on it and to complete it. Now, based on experience, for example, a friend comes with duty high, you give ofloxacin, did not work, antimicrobial susceptibility pattern and against agents causing UTI. I'm just going through these things because I've already explained them. Then based on reading, for example, I again told some of you guys have a habit of going through different journal, Lancet, JPMA, British Medical Council, New England Journal of Medicine, PubMed, Google Scholar, Web of Science, Science Direct, Scopus, so Eastern Mediterranean, Medline. Whenever you go through all these journals, you have a habit of reading research articles related to your field of interest. So you would always get an idea of which kind of topic you should work on. Then originality, role of Malsolva, maneuver, retreat, supraventricular tachycardias. So, for example, you see a procedure or you see a technique in your rotations or your, field experience, and then you think that this idea or this procedure, I want to know its practicality, whether it's applicable, whether it's original, whether it's having any theoretical basis. So you can take it as a topic and you can work on it. See ward rotations, see files of the patient, see laboratory findings, relate lab findings with the diagnosis, find a pattern. Again, this appendicitis wali piche baat hui hai. So what you can do is that during your ward rotations, for example, if I'm interested in doing research in the field of gastroenterology, so I would go through, would get into the ward looking for different cases. Then if I'm interested in a case, I'll go through his laboratory findings, his x-rays, his CTs, and then that would help me finalize the topic, come into, a conclusion, okay, these factors might relate, so I can do a research on it. I'll go to the Google Scholar. I'll sort those variables on the Google Scholar, and if work or if research hasn't been done on them, then I can take it as a topic and move on with the research. Because some recommendations, these recommendations are a bit old. So nowadays, if you can search Google, you'll get just I have told, role of AI ho gaya, role of vaccinations ho gaya, diabetes आजकल trending topic है, monkeypox trending topic है, COVID थोड़ा कम हो चुका है but it's still a trending topic, mental stress और psychiatrical disorders आजकल trendy topics हैं, ठीक है. Okay, so again, the main step is choosing a topic that interests you. Step 2 is ensure the topic is relevant and trending. Keep the topic focused. Ensure you have enough resources to support your research. Yes, Vajiha, I'll ask the host to share the slides in the group after we're done with the presentation. I'll go through the questions in the last 10 minutes. Okay, guys, you're having a short time, so I need to finish this. Okay, the step is choose your research study based upon your time feasibility. Choose your research study type based on your time. Okay. Choose your research study type based on your knowledge and personal interest, and choose your research study type based on availability of ethical approval letter. The previous one was about the choosing of the topic, and this one is about the choosing of your research study type. Like original research hai, narrative reviews hai, systematic reviews hai, case studies hai, audit hai. So whenever you're going for these studies, the most important one comes the availability of the ethical approval letter, your time and your feasibility, okay? And then the last one is your knowledge and personal interest in that field. A research is as good as the literature review done for that research. Indeed, that is one of the most important aspects, because I've seen specifically the fourth year students, they just want ki jaldi se research ho jaye so that they can complete the task. They don't even care to do a strong literature review. And once after they graduate from the medical college, or also this goes for the dentistry students, because I'm in this field, so I know much about them. So talking about specifically about the MBBS and dentistry students. So the thing is that once we're done with the research, when we get into training, like we're applying for the training, we're applying for the UK or applying for the USMLE. So what happens is that when we try to publish that research, we come to know that that topic was already done. So the thing is that the entire hard work or jo bhi mehnat ki thi, that goes to waste. And so whenever you're selecting a topic, this now goes for everyone, specifically for those who are planning to apply for PhD or masters, your topic should have not been worked. Agar to you want a strong seat, want a full grant, So your research proposal should be on the topic which has not been done before, and that you would come to know through a strong literature search. ठीक है, आप उस topic को multiple terms के साथ search करें, boolean operators के साथ search करें. Boolean operators say I mean or and not. And then if you come to know that that topic hasn't been done before, उस पे कभी काम नहीं, or you can go on with that topic. That would secure you a good seat for your PhD and masters too. And again, if you're from the biomedical side too, so the same thing goes for you when you're going for publishing. Your precaution is that you don't need to read everything. You don't need to read every text, and you don't need to read every word. The thing is that when you're doing the literature search, specifically screening for your topic, so you can go through the title and go through the abstract. Or abstract में the most important thing is the methodology. You would see that your methodology matches or not, and also you would see that अगर कोई similar methodology है, तो that would help you refine your methodology and also give you a base study that could support your research. ठीक है? But again, that should not be similar to your research. Entirely different work always makes a great chance to be published. Also to acquire you good seats in your specialty. Resources are Google Scholar, PubMed, Science Direct, ResearchGate. I would open all these all these databases at the end. ताकि I can also give you an idea of where to publish and what are the indexations. Okay, so going on with the synopsis writing. Again, guys, ये काफी बड़ा topic है, but we short on time, so I'll give an overview. In the synopsis writing, by synopsis writing, I also mean research proposal. ठीक है, तो it includes a title page जिसपे आपका title होता है research का, abstract होता है, background, objective, methods, and 2 से 3 keywords होंगे. Introduction होगा 500 से 600 words का, and that's a narrative introduction. That's a narrative introduction. Okay, so by narrative introduction, guys, can you please mute the microphones? Yeah, thank you. So by narrative introduction, I mean कि एक जनरल आपने ओवरव्यू लिखना है टॉपिक के बारे में. ठीक है, जो आपका रिसर्च टाइटल है. उसके बाद रिसर्च क्वेश्चन होगा, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स होंगे. These should be smart, relevant होने चाहिए. ठीक है, बेस्ड ऑन जो आपका रिसर्च का टॉपिक है उससे कोरिलेट करना चाहिए, आपके रैशनल को सपोर्ट करते हो. ऑपरेशनल डेफिनेशंस इफ एनी एंड द हाइपोथेसिस. ठीक है, हाइपोथेसिस इज नॉट नीडेड फॉर अ रिसर्च आर्टिकल, but if the synopsis is for a dissertation, then it is needed. Then methodology में study design आता है. By study design I mean your research methodology. Case study है, cross-sectional study है, longitudinal है, interventional है, experimental study है. अच्छा, yeah. Before the namaz break, Nimra, you asked which type of research article was that. So that was an interventional class for trial. मुझे जो लग रहा है हमारे पास 3 classes of clinical trials होते हैं in pharmaceutical, and the 4th class होती है depending on कि अगर if the pharmaceutical company or if any scholar wants to do it. The 4th class of interventional trial is that जिसमें हम एक effect देखते हैं medication का after the FDA approval. So I guess it was a part of an extension of the clinical trial as a class 4 or phase 4 interventional study. ठीक है. Okay, so going with the methodology, we're having study design, this is a research methodology. Study population, whether we're going to take population से हमारे के diabetic patients हैं या diabetic patients of a tertiary care hospital in Islamabad, the diabetic patients coming into tertiary care hospital of Karachi or Lucknow or Mumbai. So these different, I'm just giving an example. Population आपकी होती जो जिन पे आप research कर रहे हैं. Study setting आपका institution होता है. Population and study setting go in a single statement. Duration होती है कि कितने months की study है, how many months the study would be conducted, your sample size, the total number of sample size, and how the sample size was calculated using WHO calculator, any statistician, any software. Then comes the sampling technique, whether it is a randomized sampling, cluster sampling है, ठीक है. उसके बाद coming to the data collection procedure, ठीक है, whether we're using SPSS, SAS, like whatever software is being used for the analysis, and any test we're going to run, chi-square, cardinal regression, multiple regression. Okay. Or plan of analysis comes with again the software name and all the tests you're going to run. And then the ethical consideration and also the ethical considerations, if any funding is involved, any danger to the patient life is involved, any funding patients have to do, any finances which patients have to bear. So ethical consideration, any damage to the mental or physical health of the patient is involved. The ethical considerations may all these aspects come. What makes a good manuscript? Okay, so it's all about the research question and the research title. By manuscript, again, the first year students might be confused, the basic level of education students. So the manuscript is a research paper. Okay? In scientific terms, it's called a research manuscript. So comes the research question, design and implementation of the research, that is research methodology, analysis of the data, and discussion of the findings. Okay? So these all things go hand in hand. By question, you can also like, by question or research, you can either say question or research title. Okay? These both go alternatively. So that should be like the research, design, and implementation should be formed on that. Then comes the data analysis and the discussion findings. And again, the discussion, the findings, the result findings, all should be according to your research question, your research title, your rationale. Okay. So comes your any idea of research you have in mind, literature review, research question and research title, again the literature review, then research design, funding and ethical approval by ERB, data collection, data analysis, data interpretation, manuscript writing, journal submission, and then once you submit to the journal, they're going to approve it and send it to the reviewers. The reviewers are going to send you a few corrections. You're going to respond to the reviewers, and then after that, that's done, comes the process of publication. So the manuscript का structure क्या होता है जी? हमारे पास title page होता है. We're having an abstract, introduction, materials, method, results, table, figures, discussion, and references. This is the structure of a research paper. ठीक है? Okay. चले, we've discussed this multiple times in different sessions. तो मुझे kindly जरा, मैंने वैसे ये slide I didn't wanted to first go through the slide. If anyone can tell me why the topic, why the title is important. Why is the research title the most important things than the main text and the study design and even the abstract? You guys can unmute yourself and let me know in the session. Okay, to get attraction by journal. Anyone who wants to just unmute and answer. Okay, research title, why it is the most important thing of all.
Because against it, the searches will, against those kind of searches, our research article will appear.
ठीक हो गया. Anyone else who wants to add to it? Okay. So the thing is that when we submit a manuscript to a journal, the editors, they have a lot of submissions every day. So they don't go through all the papers. Like if they find the topic is interesting, they go through that paper, they put it up to review. Or the main thing is to first of all attract the editor. Okay? If the editor goes through your paper, then there are like the chances for the putting your manuscript into the review process increases by 30 to 40%. So if your topic is new, it's trendy, whether it's covering not so unique variables or factors, but once the editor is attracted to your topic, he would do the honors of going through your abstract, and that might lead to putting your manuscript into the review procedure. Okay, so after the title, he's going to go through your abstract, and the main text comes once your manuscript is placed into the review. Okay, so the most important part of the manuscript, it's often read. It should be short, specific, informative, and representative. Visual. What different types of information does this title contain? Integrative healthcare and service engagement. Okay, time हमारे पास कम है, so I'll go through it directly. ठीक है, हमारे पास एक अपनी इसमें title में we're having an outcome, the study population, study design, we're having a setting and intervention. ठीक है, these this is a very long title again. थोड़ा सा इसको मैं इसलिए भी लिखता हूँ so I can tell the candidates that this is a very big title. ठीक, it's not necessary that your title should cover all the things, but it should be like kept to one, two statements maximum. ठीक है, जितना title बड़ा होगा उतना it's going to be less attractive or इतना less specific हो जाता है. So you should keep your title precise and specific. ठीक है, हाँ, these factors you can include them again whenever you're precise, you want to precise your title, you want to make it specific, you can use chat GPT for that purpose, क्योंकि उस purpose के लिए वो software काफी अच्छा काम करता है. ठीक है, okay, introduction. Then moving on from title to the introduction section, it should include the background of the topic, what is known in the previous researches, what the challenges this study, this field is facing as of current, and then comes the question and the problem. So you start from, you know, the broader aspect of the topic, okay, and then from broader aspect you jump to the specific aspect, which specifically is related to your title, and at the end of the introduction you can add your research objective. ठीक है, उसको incorporate कर दें. That's why the main focus of our study is to do this. You can add your research. So this makes it, you know, a very unique, and also this is the way to write to introduction. As you know, here you're talking in general, then specific, then general, then specific. Talk about the general background of the topic, and then move, you know, with respect to the specific aspect of the topic. For example, if dealing about talking about the clopidogrel, its role in MI, talk about MI, talk about the role of clopidogrel in MI, then talk about what current challenges have been faced or are currently being faced with respect to the use of antiplatelet therapy in MI, and then what your research objective is. So this makes it very specific. Then material, then methods. How did you study? How did you study your question? The material and methods validate your study. Use subheadings to organize. Just I used it, and I also showed you in the synopsis section. Okay, study population, study setting, sample size, study tool, data analysis technique. Okay. Details on the ethical approval you can also include. Like for example, this study was conducted at tertiary care hospital, Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences from January to July. The ethical approval of this study was obtained from the ethical committee of PIMS hospital. And then you can continue that the study design was for sectional study. So the sample population was 512 candidates calculated using WHO sample size calculator. So these are the statements you need to include and specify in your methodology. Okay. And then should be past tense as the research has already been conducted and the results should not be there. Who was the study population, primary outcome measured, where did the study take place, and when was the study data collected? Results findings. So going through the result findings again, you can show your results in the form of tables, figures, but do remember that the international journals and many journals allow a total number of 4 figures and tables per manuscript. Okay? So you need to, you know, and don't replicate the things which have been discussed in the table figures. Don't discuss them in the text, and those which have been discussed in the text, please don't discuss them in the tables and figures. Discussion. Achha, going with the discussion of the session, again, yesterday I received a message from a junior ki discussion kaise likhni hai. So just imagine yourself, you're sitting in a room with, I always give this example, you're sitting in a room with all the authors which have done research in that topic. And you imagine that you are talking with all of them. You're saying, I did a study, my results showed this factor, these are my study findings. Then the other author talks that, okay, I did this study in this year and these were my findings. So yes, our findings are agreeing, or findings did not agree, are not agreeing. ठीक है, तो आपने discussion को इस context में लिखना है. You're going to discuss your results and you're going to compare it and compare them with the previous studies which have been done on the same topic. keeping in mind your research objective and your research question and your research rationale. Okay? Because discussion needs to be specific to your research question and research objective and rationale. So you are not going to write anything out of the literature. आपने सिर्फ findings अपनी भी report करनी, आपने different studies की findings report करनी, and then you're going to show whether they satisfy your results or not. And limitations, like what were the limits, whether the samples was not enough, whether the study population was not enough, whether there was any funding issue, whether there was any ERB did not like, वैसे ERB के बाद ही होता है, but like ERB did not allow this aspect of the research, उन्होंने आपको limit कर दिया कि आपने इतने ही individuals को लेना है, so these can be going to limitation. And then conclusions are the take away messages from the research. Okay, this is my conclusion, and then if you want, you can also put another heading for the suggestions. Okay, ji. Again, the references are really important. They would need a separate session. References, pehle to issue hota tha, we used to do manual referencing, so it took a lot of time. But nowadays we're having EndNote, Zotero, Mendeley, so you can do references using those softwares. There are multiple referencing styles. Vancouver, Harvard, APA, MLA. So every journal has a different requirement, and one of the most common corrections journal we send you to make is the correction in your references. Those are not according to the journal guidelines. Okay, so I guess we're done with the presentation. Moving on with the questions. Mariam, you can, and Wahiba and someone, you can coordinate any questions if anyone placed in the pre-validation form.
Yeah, sure, Dr. Agha. Dr. Agha, we have some questions in the chat box. If you can respond.
Yeah, I'm answering those. Okay, Bir Tahir. So whenever you're going to look for mesh terms, Google Scholar is not that much suitable, but you can use Scopus, you can use PubMed, you can use Science Direct for it. Okay, so there is an option of using mesh terms, and you can place up the filter on it. So yeah, for example, if you're using for looking up for this, हमने आज MI को ही एक topic लिया तो myocardial infarction, then you can refine it. कि उसकी जो alternatives medical terms हैं वो उसमें आएंगी. You can select specific terms and you can remove specific terms. So यही filter Scopus पे भी available है. The similar is available on Web of Science. So you can use these. Google पे, Scholar पे it's not that much available. We would be having separate session on this in the literature review जो हमारा अबीर अपना होगा. So I would be coordinating with that one.
Okay, Dr. Agha, somebody has asked in the pre-evaluation form that if they can get mentorship from you after this webinar.
Okay, Mariam, so the thing is that we are already starting a mentorship program in IBRC. We have started, but just looking for mentors as of today because I too have a really busy schedule. So you can ask them if they want to start a research under the mentorship, they can contact me. They can contact any IBRC representative. They can forward the contact to me and I'll add them in the specific field of interest they're interested in. Okay, so once we start our research topics and make the subgroup, so we would add them. Okay.
Okay, the next question is how to find team for cross-sectional study or systematic review and meta-analysis.
They want to find a team for their research study?
Yes, how to find a team.
Okay, so the one of the like number one, look into their institution. The second one would be look and search for the team on LinkedIn. Just put up a post on LinkedIn that I want to start a study in this field. This is the research topic or the research area I want to work on. So many people would contact them. LinkedIn is one of the best platforms to find a team for your research. Okay. Okay. Letter to editor, case report, QIP. If there is any other question, Mariam, you can keep asking. I'll go through the chat too.
Actually, the other questions in the pre-evaluation form are the same as those which you have addressed before. They are about topic selection and etc. that you addressed already.
Okay. Can a student of second or third year work on clinical trials? Nimra, they can work on the clinical trials, but the main issue is to get the ethical approval. And clinical trials, or like not all, but most of them involve funding and ethical considerations. Patient ki, they would ask, for example, recently we had like one PG was discussing a topic regarding HbA1c. उन्होंने एक ड्रग का इफेक्ट देखना था और उसको HbA1c के साथ कोरिलेट करना था. So the ethical team जो थी बोर्ड था, उन्होंने इस पे भी क्वेश्चन किया कि आप HbA1c क्यों करा रहे हैं, because that is an expensive test, cost about 3 to 8,000. तो जबकि HbA1c diabetic patients का is repeated after every 3 to 4 months, तो एक routine test है. So the thing is that you can start clinical trials, but until and unless you have time, you have resources, you have good supervision or mentor जो कि आपको help करें get over through the ethical board, you can start it. Can we add flowcharts in articles? Yes, Nimra, you can add flowcharts, but the total number of figures in flowchart should not be more than 4. Okay, most important thing which explains the whole research abstract. Can a student answered why to do fundings? Okay, Vajia, so the fundings are important because most of the clinical studies में हमारे पास fundings चाहिए होती हैं, कोई अगर exam कराना हो या clinical test करवाना हो. But the thing is that there are universities, there are international universities which are offering grants. Go to school, Google and search, for example, I want to do a research in cancer, the early detection of BRCA genes. So I just search grant for breast cancer research. So I can put up a good proposal to that company institution and they can offer me a grant. And then I have to mention that in the ERB and also in my publishing that the funding for this study was done by this organization. So you need to have fundings when doing clinical studies if needed. Nimra, the time needed to publish an article in a good journal is from at least 3 months to 1 year or 3 months to 1.5 years. Okay. 3 months goes for those studies which, goes for those journals which provide fast track publishing. Yes, Samiha, you can contact the IBRC. We basically conduct weekly sessions or monthly sessions. So ये है कि we would help you in any research project. This is what I can answer to your question. What about VFAHT members? Are only available for IBRC members. Basically, Wajiha Fatma, the thing is that this session, and again, I'm really grateful, has been organized by VFAHT and MSA in collaboration with IBRC. So most of the members are also from IBRC. So we are having this weekly research training session for the members where we have covered all these topics. So we are having multiple mentorship programs too. We haven't started yet because time and everything, we're in the phase of developing our final team. So if you want to be a part of the team and you want to have these workshops, because whatever we are doing, all the workshops we are doing, those are for free. We don't charge for any workshops, and all the speakers, they're doing it for voluntarily. So if you want to get any research, baki hai ki we have also one thing I would like to mention, because this is a research session. So if you guys are looking for any research softwares जो कि आप लोग को issue आ रहा है, so that we can provide, you can contact Wahiba, you can contact someone, or Mariam, they can coordinate with me. So we can provide you Turnitin software of your own, and Turnitin is used for plagiarism check. We can provide you SPSS and Note. बाकी ये है कि there are few softwares which we have access to and some we are trying to get. So once we get it, we can provide them. Achha, before closing the session, guys, I would like to share a few platforms with you guys. जो कि those would help you get your research published. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Okay. So the reason for discussing about these platforms is कि यही indexations पूरी दुनिया में चलती हैं इन platforms की databases की, और जो journal इनसे index हो, you guys can always go for them. So in Pakistan, those of you who are planning to stay in Pakistan, irrespective of your field of study, ठीक है, medicine है, surgery है, dentistry है, DPT है, nursing है, biomedical engineering है, if you want to get promotion जो आपको इसमें approval पाकिस्तान में चाहिए, तो always go for the journal which have been indexed in HJRS. ठीक है, for example, talking about Pakistan Journal of Medical Sciences, ठीक है, we are only having 3 X category journals, बाकी हमारे पास सारे Y category हैं. तो this is an X category journal. It is indexed in Web of Science and Scopus, ठीक है, medicine related है. अब this HEC की जो lowest category for journal recognition है, that is like for example मैं दिखाता हूँ Y category, ठीक है, पाकिस्तान जर्नल पाकिस्तान PGMHS, ठीक है, ये एक जर्नल है, मैं जस्ट सिर्फ नेम कंपैरिजन कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि टू सिंपल. अब ये वाई कैटेगरी है, हमारे मोस्ट ऑफ द जर्नल जो हैं वो वाई कैटेगरी हैं, और एक्स कैटेगरी मेडिकल के 3-4 जर्नल्स हैं, बाकी सारे डब्ल्यू कैटेगरी में कोई नहीं है, ठीक है. तो यू शुड ऑल ट्राई व्हेनेवर यू आर पब्लिशिंग योर रिसर्च, इट शुड ऑलवेज बी वाई कैटेगरी. फॉर एग्जांपल गोइंग फॉर अमेरिकन जर्नल of medicine, yeah, HEC के प्लेटफॉर्म से you can search any journal, और जो जर्नल HEC में for example just see अब this journal is W category, ठीक है, silver medalline है, so this is a high impact factor journal. अब talking about HEC जो है, this would help you get promotion in Pakistan या FCPS या dentistry या PhD, सब कुछ पाकिस्तान वालों ने इससे देखना. Now if you want to go to US UK, so the main platform which is indexation is PubMed. आप PubMed पे जाएं and search a journal, if it's indexed in PubMed, that would give you privilege कि आप उसको UK और US में, वैसे you can put up any research जो भी हुई है, but जब आपने आगे ट्रेनिंग में जाना है तो then you're going to use the PubMed index journals. और बाकी जो दो main databases हैं, those are accepted throughout the world, every country में होते हैं, और these are the top ranked 2 platforms. So one is Scopus, this includes the database for every Scopus index journal. Scopus की 4 categories होती हैं, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Q1 are the top category journals in the world in any field of study. Q2 are the second most 3, and Q4 are the last indexation journals of Scopus. Q4 के बाद Scopus की indexation खत्म हो जाती है, बाकी journals नहीं होते. और Web of Science is the second most important indexation. इसमें for example if we search, इसका open है तो पाकिस्तान, you can see कि ये उसमें Web of Science में indexed है. So whenever you're going for a journal, just do see these 3 platforms, PubMed, Web of Science, Scopus. और अगर पाकिस्तान में आप publish कर रहे हो तो just go for the HJRS too, ठीक है. And publishing पे again वो that's a very big thing, तो उस पे एक different session चाहिए होगा. Sorry, I had to speed everything up, 8 तक का time था, but end पे थोड़ा सा speed up करना पड़ा. But inshallah the main aim was that you guys can get an idea of the basics of the research. So again I would thank you VFAHT, my team from IBRC, MSA, Dr. Wahiba, Dr. Saman, Dr. Mariam, Dr. Razda, Dr. Arif for coordinating the session, and my team members, Dr. Osama, Dr. Bisma, Dr. Tala, Dr. Hussain, and Dr. Amna. So I guess you guys would be starting your research topics from now, and have a nice day, everyone. I guess Dr. Wahiba and someone, if you want to put up any ending statement, so that would be great.
Yeah, sure, Dr. Agha. Thank you so much for your information, for the information you provided us, and for your time. It was such a nice to have a session with you.
Dr. Saman. Thank you so much.
We are extremely grateful, Dr. Agha. So can I have your attention, everyone? In case to get your certification, you're supposed to fill a post-evaluation form, which will be available on our YouTube channel as well as on the WhatsApp link we'll send in the WhatsApp group. So don't forget to solve it so that you can get the certification for the session.
Sorry, Dr. Saman, I would like to put it up. Okay, I would share a link with you too regarding my response form. So I'll be grateful if everyone can fill that too. You guys can share that in your WhatsApp group. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Dr.
Okay?
Agha.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
nice
you
day.
so much. And thank you so much for participating in the session. Hope the session was fruitful for you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, Hiba Nadeem, I would call you for the closing remarks.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, you are.
All right. As we come to end of this impactful webinar on From Curiosity to Creation, a journey into undergraduate research, I want to take a moment to express appreciation to our incredible speaker, the organizers, and all of our participants. To our esteemed speaker, Dr. Agha, thank you for sharing your knowledge, expertise, and your unique insights with us today. Our organizing team behind this webinar, your hard work, planning, attention, and details have made this event a true success. Last but not the least, a special thank you goes out to each and every of the participant who joined us today. Your active engagement and valuable contributions have made this webinar a collaborative experience. And thank you so much once again for participating and contributing in this webinar and making it a success. Do not forget to claim your well-deserved e-certificates. Thank you.
The link for the post-evaluation form has been shared in WhatsApp group, and it's also pinned in the comment section of YouTube Live. Kindly fill the form in within 10 minutes to get your certificates.
तुम्हें पानी पीना है? पी लिया